Many of you guys asked me to review this one. It's Tone Empire Black Q. Cool EQ. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBus TV. Hope you're having a great day. Before we start, if you like the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, check the info box down below for all my mixing courses, discounts on many plugins, and if you want to support the channel, we have a bunch of t-shirts down there and a Patreon page. Let's get to the video. I got it, installed it, tried it last night, and I gotta be honest, I was a little bit skeptical because while I like 3D realistic GUIs on plugins, we had experiences in past in which it's just that, the plugin doesn't really sound as good as it looks. Not the case in this one. This one has a really nice GUI, but it sounds really, really good. Now, I don't know if they based this EQ on a specific unit. The look of it, and maybe just the red knob at the bottom, reminds me of the Rooster by Thermionic Culture, which is an amazing EQ, by the way. And regardless where they got the design, if they were inspired, if they modeled, I don't care. This EQ sounds really, really good. Two things that I noticed right away, and we will listen to it in a minute. Very, very broad curves, which is something I like on a tube EQ, and the saturation on it. The saturation alone jumped, let's say, top 10, maybe top 5 of my favorite saturation plugins, which says a lot, because you know how picky I am with saturation. But this is pretty simple, straightforward. All the controls are in front. We have a low cut filter, 3 bands, the low frequency band, the mid frequency band, the high frequency band, and an air band that goes from 12K to 20K. Only gain for the air band, Q and gain for the other bands, and this red knob, which is the winning point for me. We have 2 types of saturation, tape A, tape B, and pre or post EQ. So I just did this setup here. That was my very first try on this rough mix that I have here. So I'm just gonna play it, bypass it, and unbypass it as is. This was my very first test, and I left the knobs where I like them. So this is without and then with. Okay, so you hear I'm going very, very subtle, but if you pay attention, it's just very rich, the kind of saturation. And if you look at the gain that I'm using, I'm cutting somewhere here around 1K, boosting the high band frequency and cutting again around 300 and adding a little low end. So I'm not doing crazy EQ because this is not an EQ you want to do crazy things. You want to go more subtle. But the kind of saturation is really nice. Now, notice how nice is the low end, the kick drum specifically, when you put the drive post EQ. Just pay attention to the kick drum, that alone. Totally love it. We will try it on different material. Let me try on the same material, the type B saturation. All right, it sounds a little bit cleaner. I like it. I like it very much. A little less crunchy, a little less brittle. Type B is really, really nice. Let's try it, like, let's stay on the same, let's say, song, just the drums, for example. I can go like 10 dB gain and it still sounds natural. Let me try it on some other things. Acoustic guitar, let's start default. It is so gentle. At the top here, we have an input and output, just if you want to drive the signal a little higher, a little hotter, and also a mix dry wet. Now with EQ, unless they compensated for the phase shift, which I assume they did, you can do parallel EQ, although I would double check before doing that. But otherwise, you can definitely use it as a saturator and just drive the mix knob with the saturation and just use it that way. Let's try just that. I'm gonna just drive it even harder. Okay, I just want to hear the limit of the saturation in what I'm doing right now. Nice. Absolutely is exactly what I was hoping to hear here. So I'm just running the saturation like really hot, full blown, and I'm just mixing it in a little bit without using the EQ at all. Let's try to match the output. Let's see how it reacts with the parallel EQ. There's a little bit of a build up in the low mid by doing this extreme drive. It's nice. It definitely rounds up the transient as well. When the saturation is like engages at high level. Love it. Let's try on some electronic material at this point, because this might be a good fit for that. Although tubes EQ in general, I like more for dirtier genres. Well, EDM and stuff like that, I kind of prefer to go a little bit cleaner. That's why my pool ticket's solid state, but still, let's try it. We could be surprised. I think the low end saturation this EQ has just became my favorite thing about this plugin. You hear the broad curves, especially in the low end, and the crunch he has when you engage the saturation is a sound that really clicks with me. Let's try it on a vocal really quick.
We won't dwell on the past and the shadow it casts, so unembraceable and it lasts. Look it dead in the eyes, the peel off the sky. All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try? There's nothing left here. We lost our whole world in one night. We won't dwell on the past and the shadow it casts, so unembraceable and it lasts. Look it dead in the eyes, the peel off the sky. All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try? There's nothing left.
I'm exaggerating the saturation, but again, I really like it.
All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. And there's nothing left here.
I also like how it cleans up that area nicely. It's very natural.
And there's nothing left here for you and I. And there's nothing left here for you and I. And there's nothing left here for you and I. And there's nothing left here for you and
Really cool. Notice how the saturation, again, it's so useful that you have a pre and post, because when you clean that band number 2 around 200 hertz and then you switch to post EQ, the saturation works a lot better, is a lot cleaner. And I like both type A and type B. As with any other saturator, it's a matter of trying and, you know, figure out what works best for a given material. There's not a rule. Thumbs up for Tone Empire Black Q. Super simple, there's not much to hype, there's not much to say. Great 2BQ emulation, I love the saturation. Wide, broad bands. This is not a surgical EQ, definitely a sweetening EQ. It's on sale right now. I hope this video was useful, I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. Also, write in the comment down below all your questions for the rapid Q&A and the live Q&A that is coming up. I know you guys like those, so let's keep doing it. And thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.